I was walking through the warehouse aisles early Tuesday morning when I noticed something that most shoppers usually miss. It wasn't a big flashy sale sign or a new seasonal display near the entrance. It was the quiet movement of pallets in the back corner and that small, dreaded symbol on a price tag that tells us a product is on its way out forever. When you spend as much time as I do tracking supply chains and warehouse inventory, you start to see the patterns before the general public catches on. We are seeing a massive shift in how our favorite big box retailers are stocking their shelves for the coming year. Some items are being reformulated with cheaper ingredients, while others are simply being pulled to make room for higher margin products that don't serve our budgets quite as well. I'm talking about the staples that many of us rely on to keep our pantries full and our families fed without breaking the bank. There are 12 specific items leaving the shelves this month that you need to know about right now. These aren't just minor changes. These are disruptions to the products that many of us consider the backbone of our household storage. I've been talking to people who see the inventory sheets, and I've been tracking the price fluctuations across the country. What I found is a bit unsettling for those of us who like to stay prepared. You won't believe number 6 on this list because it is a product that almost every single one of us has in our kitchen right now. When I saw the stock levels for that one, I knew I had to get this information out to you immediately. Before we dive into these specific items, I want to invite you to join our inner circle of prepared shoppers by subscribing to the channel. We track these changes in real time, so you are never the one standing in front of an empty shelf wondering what happened to your grocery budget. We focus on the facts and the boots-on-the-ground reality of shopping in today's economy. If you value being ahead of the curve and keeping your pantry stocked while prices are still manageable, you are in the right place. Let's look at what is disappearing and why you need to act before the end of the month. Product number 1. Kirkland Signature Semi-Sweet Chocolate Chips. This first one is going to hurt for anyone who does a lot of home baking or keeps a sweet stash in the pantry. I noticed the pallets were looking unusually thin at my local warehouse, and after checking the latest commodity reports, it all started to make sense. We are looking at a massive shift in how cocoa is being sourced and priced globally right now. The price of cocoa has reached heights we haven't seen in decades due to crop issues in West Africa. Because of this, the bulk bags of Kirkland chocolate chips are being phased out in their current form to make way for a smaller, more expensive version or a complete reformulation. I saw a distributor memo indicating that the current 4.5-pound bags are being replaced by a 3.5-pound bag at the same or even a slightly higher price point. When you look at the per-unit cost, this is a significant blow to the budget-conscious shopper. I went ahead and bought 6 bags for my own storage last week. Each bag was about $12, but if I were to wait until the new stock arrives, I would be paying nearly 30% more per ounce of chocolate. I saved nearly $24 just by acting now instead of waiting for the holiday baking rush to start. These bags have a very long shelf life if you store them correctly in a cool, dark place. I actually like to keep mine in the deep freezer to prevent any blooming or flavor changes over time. You can easily keep these for 2 to 3 years without any loss in quality as long as the seal remains intact. This is one of those items where once the current stock is gone, the old price is never coming back. You don't want to be caught paying double for your baking supplies 6 months from now when you could have secured them today. Product number 2. Kirkland Signature Ultra Soft Bath Tissue. This is a staple that almost every household relies on, but the version we know and love is undergoing a major change. I've noticed the roll counts and the sheet thickness have been a topic of quiet conversation among warehouse staff lately. There is a shift toward a more eco-friendly fiber blend, which often translates to a thinner, less durable product for the consumer. The supply chain for paper pulp has been under immense pressure, and large retailers are looking for ways to maintain their price points by reducing the physical amount of product in the package. I took a measurement of a roll I bought 6 months ago versus one I picked up this week. The difference is subtle, but it is definitely there. Based on recent retail data, the warehouse is transitioning to a new SKU that features fewer sheets per roll while keeping the exterior packaging almost identical. I decided to stock up on 3 of the large 30-roll packs while the current inventory is still available. My total cost was about $20 per pack, which is a steal compared to what name brands are charging at local grocery stores. If I had waited for the transition to finish, I'd be getting about 15% less paper for the same amount of money. That adds up quickly over a year for a family of 4. To store these, I keep them in their original plastic wrap and stack them high in the garage on pallets to keep them off the concrete. As long as they stay dry, paper products like this have an indefinite shelf life. This is about protecting your budget from the slow shrink that is happening across the entire paper aisle. You want to have a 6-month supply of the good stuff before the thinner version becomes the only option on the floor. Product number 3, Kirkland Signature Organic Greek Yogurt. This is a specific item that has a very loyal following, and I'm one of those people who buys it every single week. However, I've been seeing signs that the current organic supplier is being swapped out for a different regional distributor. This usually means a change in texture, taste, and, most importantly, the price per tub. Demand for organic dairy has been fluctuating wildly, and the costs of maintaining organic certifications are pushing some suppliers out of the big box game. I noticed the star symbol on the price tag at 2 different locations this week, which is the internal signal that an item isn't being restocked. I spoke with a floor manager who mentioned that a new version is coming, but it likely won't be in the same 3-pack configuration we are used to. I bought 4 of the current packs, which gives me about a month and a half of buffer, since the expiration dates are surprisingly generous on these. I paid around $10 for the pack, but the individual tubs at my local supermarket are nearly $6 each. By stocking up now, I'm saving about $8 per pack compared to buying them anywhere else during the transition. While you can't store yogurt for years, you can certainly buy yourself a few months of peace of mind. Some people even freeze Greek yogurt to use in smoothies later on, which is a great way to extend the life of this high-protein staple. It keeps perfectly fine in the freezer for about 3 to 4 months. This is a core part of many people's breakfast routine, and having it disappear or change unexpectedly can throw off your whole week. It's about maintaining that sense of normalcy in your kitchen, even when the supply chain is shifting. Grab a few extra packs now so you can bridge the gap while they figure out the new supplier. Product number 4, Kirkland Signature Wild-Caught Sockeye Salmon. The frozen seafood section is one of the best places to save money at the warehouse, but the sockeye salmon specifically is facing some major hurdles. We are seeing a shift in fishing quotas and environmental regulations that are making it much harder for retailers to keep this specific item in stock at a reasonable price. I've noticed the freezer space for this item shrinking over the last 3 weeks. The retail data shows that wholesale prices for wild-caught salmon have jumped by nearly 20% in the last quarter alone. This is forcing the warehouse to either raise prices significantly or discontinue the current 3-pound bags in favor of smaller portions. I saw a report indicating that the current stock is the last of the previous season's harvest, and once it's gone, the new prices will be a shock to the system. I bought 4 bags of the sockeye salmon fillets this week. My total cost was about $35 per bag, which is a lot of money up front, but it averages out to a very low price per meal. If I were to buy this same quality at the local fish market, I would be paying almost double that amount. By filling my freezer now, I've locked in a high-quality protein source for the next several months. Frozen salmon is incredible for long-term storage as long as it is vacuum-sealed, which these Kirkland bags are. You can easily keep these in a deep freeze for 12 to 18 months without any freezer burn. Having high-quality protein on hand is one of the best ways to empower yourself against rising food costs. You don't want to be forced into buying lower-quality farmed fish because the wild-caught options have become a luxury item. This is a smart move for your health and your wallet. Product number 5, Kirkland Signature Extra Virgin Olive Oil. This is one of those items that people travel long distances to buy in bulk because the quality-to-price ratio is almost unbeatable. But if you've been paying attention to global news, you know that the olive harvests in Europe have been devastatingly poor for the 2nd year in a row. The warehouse is currently working through its last major reserves of the current blend. Supply chain indicators suggest that we are about to see a gap in availability, followed by a significant price hike. I noticed the shelves were only half full during my last visit, which is very unusual for such a high-volume item. The word is that the 2-liter bottles might be replaced by a smaller 1.5-liter size to hide the price increase. I bought 4 bottles of the organic extra virgin olive oil yesterday. The total cost was about $80, but considering how much I use it for cooking and dressings, it's an essential investment. I estimated that if I wait until the new harvest hits the shelves, those same 4 bottles would cost me over $120. Olive oil is best stored in a cool, dark pantry away from the stove. As long as it is unopened, it will stay fresh for 18 to 24 months. I always check the harvest date on the back to make sure I'm getting the freshest stock possible for my long-term storage. You really don't want to be caught without a good cooking oil, as it is the foundation of so many meals. This is about protecting your ability to cook healthy meals at home without feeling the sting of inflation every time you reach for the bottle. It's a foundational pantry item that deserves a little extra space on your shelf right now. Product number 6. Kirkland Signature Coffee Pods. This is the one that really stunned me when I saw the inventory notes. For many of us, coffee is not an optional luxury. It is a daily necessity that keeps us moving. The Kirkland Signature Pacific Bold and Breakfast Blend Pods are currently being transitioned to a new manufacturer. This usually happens when the warehouse wants to cut costs on the sourcing side, but it often leads to a change in the flavor profile that longtime drinkers notice immediately. More importantly, the current bulk count of 120 pods is being reviewed. I've seen signs that they may drop the count to 100 pods while keeping the box price the same. I noticed the pallets for the 120 count boxes were being moved to the clearance end caps in some regions. I bought 3 of the large boxes to make sure I have my favorite roast for at least the next few months. I spent about $90 total, but compared to buying the name brand pods at a regular store, I'm saving over $50 on this purchase. Coffee pods are perfect for stocking up because they are hermetically sealed. They will stay fresh in a dry pantry for at least a year, and honestly, they usually stay good well beyond the best buy date. I store mine in large plastic bins to keep them organized and protected from moisture. Coffee is one of the first things to go up in price when there is shipping or labor unrest. Having a massive supply of your morning caffeine is a huge boost to your daily morale and your monthly budget. Don't wait until you're staring at a more expensive, smaller box next month. Product number 7. Kirkland Signature Environmentally Responsible Laundry Detergent. We are seeing a lot of changes in the cleaning aisle lately as companies try to meet new packaging regulations. The large jugs of the clear and free and environmentally friendly detergent are being phased out for a more concentrated formula in a smaller bottle. While concentration sounds good, it often results in the consumer using the same amount of liquid and running out much faster. The warehouse is moving toward ultra-concentrated versions to save on shipping costs and shelf space. I've noticed the current large white jugs are becoming harder to find, with many stores already switching over to the smaller, more expensive versions. Retail data shows that the cost per load of laundry is expected to rise by about 12% with this change. I picked up 4 of the large jugs, which should last my family for the better part of a year. The total cost was around $60. If I had to buy the equivalent number of loads in the new packaging, I would be spending nearly $20 more over the course of the year. Laundry detergent has a very long shelf life, usually up to 2 years before the ingredients start to separate or lose effectiveness. I store mine on the bottom shelf of the pantry, where it's cool and dry. This is a heavy item, so buying it now also saves you the trouble of dealing with price spikes later on. It's a simple way to take control of your household expenses. You know you're going to have to do laundry, so you might as well do it at today's prices. This is about peace of mind and knowing your chores won't cost more tomorrow than they do today. Product number 8. Kirkland Signature Premium Chunk Canned Chicken. For any prepper or anyone who likes to be ready for a quick meal, this canned chicken is a gold standard item. However, there has been a lot of pressure on poultry supply chains due to regional health restrictions and rising feed costs. I noticed that the 6-pack of canned chicken is being limited in some stores, and the price has slowly crept up. The warehouse is looking at changing the sourcing for this chicken, which could affect the quality and the liquid-to-meat ratio in the cans. I saw a retail report that suggested the current premium line might be replaced by a different grade of meat to keep the price point under $20. I've used this chicken for years in salads and soups, and I can tell you the quality is currently top tier. I bought 10 of the 6-packs to add to my long-term food storage. The total cost was about $150, which sounds like a lot, but it provides 60 individual meals worth of protein. If I were to buy this in the future under the new pricing, I'd likely be paying 20% more for a product that might not be as good. Canned meat like this is one of the best things you can have in your pantry because it lasts for 3 to 5 years. I keep mine in a cool, dark closet and rotate the stock, so I'm always using the oldest cans first. It is the ultimate emergency food that actually tastes like real food. You don't want to be in a situation where you need a quick meal or a protein source and the shelves are empty or the prices are sky high. This is about building a buffer between your family and the grocery store. It's one of the smartest investments you can make in your pantry right now. Product number 9. Kirkland's Signature Thai Hom Mali. Jasmine rice. Rice is a foundational food for billions of people, and the jasmine rice at the warehouse is usually of very high quality. But global trade fluctuations and export restrictions from major rice-producing countries are starting to hit the shelves. I noticed that the large 50-pound bags are being replaced by 25-pound bags in many locations. When they reduce the bag size, the price per pound almost always goes up. I saw a warehouse manager overseeing the transition of the rice aisle, and the space for the bulk bags was being significantly reduced. If you rely on rice as a low-cost filler for your meals, this change is going to hit your budget directly. I bought 4 of the 50-pound bags while they were still available. The total cost was around $80. In the smaller bag sizes, that same 200 pounds of rice would have cost me closer to $110. That $30 difference is basically a free bag of rice just for buying in bulk now. To store rice long-term, I take it out of the paper bags and put it into 5-gallon food-grade buckets with gamma lids. If you add some oxygen absorbers, this rice will stay perfectly edible for 20 years or more. Even if you don't plan on keeping it that long, it's great to have a year's supply on hand. Rice is one of the most important items to have in your inner circle storage. It provides calories, comfort, and versatility when other foods are expensive or unavailable. Secure your bulk bags now before the smaller, more expensive packaging becomes the standard. Product number 10. Kirkland Signature Daily Multivitamins. We often forget about the pharmacy section when we talk about stock-ups, but supplements are a major household expense. I've seen reports that the current formulations for the Kirkland Daily Multivitamins are being updated to reflect new science-backed ingredients. Usually, updated formula is code for more expensive ingredients, or a change in the pill count. The current 500-count bottles are an incredible value that usually lasts a person well over a year. I noticed the asterisk on the tag for the adult multi and the silver multi this week. This indicates that the current SKU is being deleted to make room for the new version, which will likely have fewer pills per bottle. I bought 3 bottles for my household, which will cover us for the next several years. The total cost was less than $40. If I had to buy name-brand vitamins at a local drugstore, I'd be paying that much for just 1 or 2 months' supply. Vitamins generally have a shelf life of about 2 years before they start to lose their potency. I keep mine in the original sealed containers in a cool, dry cabinet. It's a small investment that ensures your family stays healthy, even if fresh produce prices make it hard to get all your nutrients from food. This is a proactive move for your long-term health and financial stability. You don't want to be forced into buying overpriced supplements when you can get a multi-year supply for the cost of a single dinner out. It's about being smart with every dollar in your budget. Product number 11. Kirkland Signature FlexTech Trash Bags. This might seem like a boring item to stock up on, but think about how much you use them every single day. There is a shift in the plastic manufacturing industry right now toward thinner, high-stretch materials that use less plastic per bag. While this is marketed as a win for the environment, many shoppers are finding that the bags tear more easily and can't hold as much weight. The current version of the FlexTech bags is being phased out for a new version that I've heard from warehouse insiders is noticeably different in hand feel. I've seen the pallets being cleared out to make room for the new boxes. The box count is also being looked at, with a potential reduction from 200 bags to 180. I picked up 3 boxes of the current bags last trip. The total cost was about $60. If the count drops and the price stays the same, I'm basically getting 60 bags for free by buying now. That's several months of trash bags that I don't have to worry about buying later. Trash bags don't go bad, so you can store them anywhere. Under the bed, in the back of a closet, or in the garage. They are also incredibly useful in emergency situations for waste management or protecting gear from water. I always keep a few extra boxes on hand because you truly never want to run out of these. It's about maintaining the quality of the household goods you use most often. Don't wait for the new, thinner version to arrive and leave you with a mess in your kitchen. Stick with the version you know works while it's still on the floor. Product number 12. Kirkland Signature Whole Fancy Cashews. The snack aisle is often where we see the most shrinkflation, and the bulk jars of nuts are no exception. We are seeing a major disruption in the global cashew supply chain due to labor issues and shipping delays in Southeast Asia. I noticed the price of the large jars has already started to fluctuate, and the stock levels are lower than usual. There is word that the warehouse might transition from the current plastic jars to a bag format, which often leads to more crushed nuts and less product by weight. I also noticed that the fancy grade is being replaced by a halves and pieces blend in some test markets. If you want the high-quality whole cashews, you need to look at your current stock levels. I bought 4 jars of the salted cashews this week. The total cost was about $60. If I were to buy these same nuts in smaller cans at the grocery store, I would be paying nearly double for the same weight. I saved about $40 just by grabbing the bulk jars now. Nuts can go rancid if they are left in a warm pantry for too long because of their high oil content. I store my extra jars in the refrigerator or the freezer, which keeps them perfectly crunchy and fresh for up to 2 years. It's a great high-energy snack to have in your long-term storage. Having a healthy, calorie-dense snack on hand is great for your budget and your preparedness plan. Don't let the price of a simple jar of nuts become a burden on your grocery bill. Grab a few extra jars while the quality and price are still where we want them to be. When you look at these 12 items together, a very clear pattern emerges. The retail world is moving towards smaller packaging, reformulated ingredients, and higher prices per unit. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a strategic shift to maintain profit margins in a volatile economy. But by paying attention and acting early, you put yourself in a position of power. You aren't at the mercy of whatever happens to be on the shelf next Tuesday. You are part of an inner circle of shoppers who see the changes coming and take steps to protect their households. Stocking up responsibly isn't about panic. It's about being a good steward of your resources. When you have a buffer in your pantry, you can shop with a sense of calm and confidence that others simply won't have. Most people won't notice these products are gone until they go to reach for them and find an empty space or a different, more expensive version. By then, the opportunity to save has passed. But you are ahead of the game. You are taking control of your budget and your family's needs. If you found this insider look helpful, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It helps us keep the lights on and continues our mission of bringing you real, boots-on-the-ground shopping alerts. We have more updates coming soon on other major retailers, so stay tuned. I really appreciate you being part of this community. Stay prepared, stay informed, and I will see you in the next video.